Hi and welcome to the Malat cookery channel. So today I'm making a really delicious dish, chicken and chorizo sausage jambalaya. So this is a delicious Cajun style dish, really easy to make and relatively cheap, so great for the family. The spice blend we're going to be using from the Malat range is their Jamaican jerk seasoning. And if you don't have access to the Malat range of products, then just try and get yourself a really decent jerk seasoning. Some of the ones from the supermarket tend to be a bit bland, so look for some recommendations online before you buy. And also there are some decent recipes where you can make a jerk seasoning from scratch. The only downside to that is most decent jerk seasonings, just like the Malat one, have quite a few ingredients, so it could be quite expensive. As usual, a full list of ingredients will be given at the end of the video, so let's have a look at those ingredients now and anything else we're going to need for today. So the ingredients for our recipe today, we've got 350 grams of long grain rice, a 400 gram tin of chopped tomatoes, one medium white onion which has been sliced. I've got 20 grams of the Malat Jamaican jerk seasoning, or whichever seasoning you're using, 600 milliliters of chicken stock, 120 grams of chorizo sausage which has been sliced very thin. I've got one medium chicken breast fillet which has been sliced, and two medium red bell peppers which have been de-seeded and sliced. So the first thing we need to do is pour some water over the rice and just leave the rice to soak for about 10 minutes just to get rid of some of that residue starch which is on the outside of the rice, and that will help the rice to be nice and free once it's cooked and it won't stick together. So while the rice is soaking, we can start to cook the meal. So I've got a large deep saucepan which has a tight fitting lid like that, so make sure you've got one of those. I've got about 4 tablespoons of decent quality olive oil in the bottom of that pan. And all we're going to do is just to bring that oil up to temperature over a medium heat. So the first thing we want to do is add the onion. And we're just going to cook these onions through for about a couple of minutes, just until they start to soften slightly. So after 2 or 3 minutes we add in the red bell pepper. And again, we're going to cook these through, but for about 7 or 8 minutes. Just stir them occasionally, you don't want anything to stick to the bottom of the pan. The next thing we want to do is to add our Jamaican jerk seasoning. And again, just cook that through for a minute or so. At this point you want to just turn that heat down a little bit so those spices don't burn. Oh, the smell coming off this is absolutely amazing. Okay, so next goes in the chicken. And we're going to be cooking this chicken through for about maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Just want to make sure that the chicken's cooked all the way through. Okay, so next I want to add in that chorizo sausage. And again, just cook that in for a couple of minutes. I said it before in previous videos, we need, when we add ingredients to the pan, any pan really. Want to make sure that we get the pan back up to temperature, back up to a decent cooking temperature before we add anything else. So before we add any liquid, we want to add our rice to the pan. So this rice has been drained. The reason for that is we want the rice to take on some of the flavour, the concentrated flavour that's in the pan at the moment before we add the liquid. Okay, just mix that rice in. And again, get the pan back up to temperature, just a couple of minutes. So next thing in goes the liquid, so tomatoes first. Then the chicken stock. Just mix that all together. Right, so next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to increase the heat, place the lid on, and then I want to bring this pan up to a gentle simmer. Okay, so now the pan has come up to a simmer. I'm going to turn the heat right down, so we've just got a real gentle simmer. This is when the cooking time starts. I'm going to leave this pan now for around 25 minutes until all of that liquid has been absorbed by the rice. You'll know when it's done because you'll have large bubbles forming on the surface, and all of a sudden they'll die away and the dish will look fairly dry. So again, roughly about 25 minutes. And that dish is done. Do not take the lid off the pan at all during the cooking time. So there you go, chicken and chorizo sausage jambalaya, absolutely delicious. Please subscribe to the channel, and as usual, if you've enjoyed this particular video, hit the like button. Thank you very much for watching.